Hello? Hello? How are we doing? When I don't miss me, va? People don't use call wound me. If as if I don't go exile. Okay. How have we been? Hope we have been reading our books. Eh? Ko otino funti ba yosino ozopo. Okay, so we're going to start genetics. Genetics is a very important branch of your exam. You must see it in exam. Must. You know, as I've told us before, one of the things this lesson does for you is that lesson helps to guide you on what to read and what not to read. We have what we call important things and we have necessary things. What did I say? Important and what? Necessary. Which one do you think you should read for exam? The necessary things. You can actually know you don't do college biology. You quote the whole textbook and you still can fail. It's very possible. So we guide you through the necessary things you need for your exams. Okay, before we start up genetics, I would like us to do a little bit recap. Please, if today is your first day seeing me here, can I see your hands? Okay. Let me introduce myself small again, small. Okay, my name is Sage. My name is what? I am that small boy. They said they told to come and teach you. Now told us I'll be 19 this year. I'm still a small boy. I don't know. This my age does not want to increase. So for how many years? Maybe our God wants to make me Methuselah. So I'm a medical student from Massachusetts College of Medicine, Parkland. So we are here to be guiding you through. Okay. So as I said, we're going to have a little recap from the last class I had with us. And then someone else must have been teaching us biology now, right? Who is the person? I know he's doing justice to everything he taught, right? Yes. Okay. So let's do a bit of recap on what I taught last. Before I left, what topic did I teach? Was it parasites? We're not done with parasites. Have we done schistosoma here? Did I tell us up to Drancunculus medinensis? Did we do guinea worm? Are you serious? Okay, what will happen is I'll just list a table for us and then we do our genetics. Though time might not permit us. Hope we all have our past question. I'm going to take a past question. If you don't have any jam past question, can I see you and let me dash you? You don't have any jam past question. Yeah, Nigeria should taking you when you came. You will go with Jesus. Go and buy your past question. Or 3-5 can area. It's not yet out. For which one? Biology. You go with chemistry, but I go the first. Okay, so let's have a summary. So I call this recap. What's the full name for recap? Who can tell me? When I'm able to recap, like to cap again. The full name is recapitulation. What do I say? English jump. We are talking about recap. To say what has happened before, to narrate a story again. Okay, so we established something before I left. I told us there's a relationship between vector, pathogen, and disease. Did we talk about this? Did we talk about this? Okay, for the sake of the new people amongst us, let me just start from the beginning very quickly. The class we had last time was on microbiology. Was what? And we established that microbiology is the study of what? Microorganisms. Is that correct? And I told us that all microorganisms in this world are divided into 4 groups. Is that correct? The first group being bacteria, right? Followed by fungi, followed by virus, and last one is what? Parasites. Please, so all of us are following me. Let's list the 4 groups of microorganisms again. The first one is what? Bacteria. Second one, fungi. Third one, virus. The last one, parasites. So we studied bacteria firstly, and we said that the study of bacteria is called bacteriology. Study of fungi is called what? Is it fungology? Yes. Is it fungology? Yes. You will see it and you write the exam. Don't call sage. What study of fungi called? Say mycology. Say it. Say it again. The study of virus is called what? Virology. And the study of parasites is called parasitology. So I told us that out of the 4 groups, the ones we are basing more on is the bacteria and parasites. Fungi and virus is not of much importance in this class. The only thing you need to know on that virus and fungi are the diseases they cause, which I think I've listed. I'll still list more here because of the exams. So in bacteria, I know we did justice to that. We said that bacteria can be classified based on different criteria. Is that right? One of the criteria is classification based on shape. Is that right? Under there, how many shapes of bacteria do we have? 4. The first one is cocci, right? What is cocci? Round. Second one is what? Bacilli. What does it mean? Cylindrical. The third one is what? Vibro. What does it mean? Curved or comma-shaped, right? And the last one is spirochete or spirilla, which means spiral. Okay, we also listed the examples of bacteria under each group. And the most popular bacteria we know is what again? Staphylococcus aureus. So we say that it belongs to the cocci bacteria, right? We also talked about classification of bacteria based on gram stain. And they are divided into gram positive and gram negative. We also divided them based on temperature response, right? Into 3 groups. The first group there is what? Thermophilic. What's their temperature? Hot, cold, or middle? Hot. Psychrophilic, which one? Psychrophilic bacteria, what's temperature? Cold. Which one is middle again? Mesophilic. Okay. So I know we did justice to bacteria. We also talked about the shape and structure of bacteria. We talked about bacterial organisms and diseases they cause. Is that correct? Something like anthrax. What causes anthrax? Hope we have learned that table. I told you that's the major thing Jam will ask yourself, that table. What bacteria causes typhoid? Let's look at this question. Which of these is odd? Which of these organisms is odd? That means which of them does not belong to the group here. What should the answer be? E means none of the above. What should the answer be? The first one is Neisseria gonorrhoeae. This is Neisseria meningitis, Microbacterium tuberculosis, Bacillus anthracis, and none of the above. What do you think should be the answer? B. What do you think should be the answer? Hey, if people are breaking my myocardium. Which of these is odd? Which of those organisms are odd? You are breaking my myocardium. So I left you for 2 weeks. You have not read that table, right? Have you read that table? That thing is very important, so you will see it in the exam. Okay, the answer to the question is none of the above. The answer is what? All those organisms there are all bacteria. They are all what? And they cause different bacterial infections. So they are all in the same group, all of them. The ones that are easy to know, viral infections and viral organisms are easy to know because their names are coming from the disease. Something like rabies is caused by what? Rabies virus. Chickenpox is caused by chickenpox virus. Measles is coming from measles virus. Polio is caused by polio virus. So those ones are easy. The only one that usually has problem is bacteria. Even parasites is easy, isn't it? They will tell you entamoebiasis is caused by what? Entamoeba. Plasmodiasis is caused by plasmodium. So those ones, you don't need to cram them. The problem is usually in bacteria, and you must see it in exam. Then fungal infection too. Fungal infection, they're not usually asked. I didn't give us the table, that will give us now. But they are not much. There are about 4 or 5 that you must know in this class. So please, you need to learn that table very importantly, please. Okay, let's just summarize this and then do something else. Okay, so I said there's an establishment between vector, pathogen, and disease. If they ask you in an exam, malaria is caused by dash. Option A, infected female Anopheles mosquito. Option B, tsetse fly. Option C, trypanosoma. Option D, plasmodium. Malaria is caused by dash. What's the answer? Malaria is caused by dash. What's the answer? Okay. So I told us that in an exam, you will see questions like this. And they're trying to test your knowledge between the concepts of vector, pathogen, and disease. I said and I'm saying again, please and please, do vectors cause disease? No. What causes diseases? Pathogens. Please, everybody in this class, hold your ears. Please, do vectors cause disease? What causes disease? Pathogens. Let's assume in this question now, option A, female Anopheles mosquito. Option D, none of the above. What should be the answer? Don't go and rush and say, I saw female Anopheles mosquito. Please, mosquito, is it a vector, pathogen, or a disease? A vector. Female Anopheles mosquito carries what? Plasmodium. And plasmodium causes malaria. This is something you must understand. Before ban a hop potasi, exam de queria eshi A1. Jamba sige F9, come back. In but I know what I wrote. That biology was very easy. It's not just 40 questions. Highest I will fail 10. 30 times 6 points. Even when I'm you now calculate score. 30 times 6.67, 180. Even if it's only biology, I will pass. They play. If you rubbish there, you say that is female Anopheles mosquito. Please, this is very important. Similarly, we talked about tsetse fly. Tsetse fly, is it a vector, pathogen, or disease? Vector. What does it transmit? Trypanosoma. And what does trypanosoma cause? Sleeping sickness. It's very important you understand this. So, I remember I told us that once you enter exam hall, be very careful of option A. Did I tell us that? Don't rush and dive into option A. That's the answer. Make sure you go through the 4 options. Even though you have seen the answer, run at D. Once you get to D, then you answer. Don't rush and dive into option A. Option A can be very disastrous. And then some option you see A. It's not what answer 10 now with A. You pick the A down. You have to be very, very careful. Please, very careful. Okay, so this table I want to give to us is the summary of everything we did in parasitology. Sorry, in microbiology. Please, I'm begging you, even if you don't read all those things, the only parasites I told us to make sure we know is schistosoma. Did I say it? Why? It comes out in exam. Hope you remember the life cycle. The life cycle of schistosoma, is it terrestrial, arboreal, or aquatic? Where does it breed? Is it in water? Yes. You will see it in exam. If you open your past questions, you will see it. What's the primary host of schistosoma? Man. What's secondary host? Snail. These are things you must know. Very important. Very important. Schistosoma causes dash. A. Schistosomiasis. B. Biohaziasis. What's the answer? The both of them are correct. The one you must usually see in exam is biohaziasis. You must know these things. Very important. Okay, so I'm going to have a list of parasites, their vectors and disease they cause. So we have parasites, vector / host. About one day table in Angria. If you don't read it at your own detriment, so because this is not what I'm supposed to be doing now, but let's do it. The important ones you will see in exams. That's what we are trying to discuss now. So let's start with trypanosoma. The trypanosoma, it has primary and secondary hosts, right? Did we talk about it? What's the primary host of trypanosoma? Primary host of Jesus Christ. What's the primary host of Plasmodium? Primary host of, what's even primary host? Hey, one cage go Gary Merucho when her. What's primary host? Where does sexual reproduction occur? Primary or secondary host? What's primary host of Plasmodium? Man or mosquito? What of fly? Okay. For Plasmodium, let's be very fast, please. This table should be more important than your life. Oh. Guard it with all your, as if it's your treasure in heaven. The primary host of Plasmodium is mosquito, right? And the secondary host is man. Then we go to flatworms. I told us flatworms are divided into how many again? Is it 2? The first group is flukes, right? And second group is what? Tapeworms. How many flukes did we mention that are very important? What are they? Schistosoma and what? Fasciola hepatica. Schistosoma can also be called dash, blood fluke. Fasciola can also be called liver fluke. What of tapeworms? What are the ones we mentioned? Tenia solum and... Did we do the life cycle? I drew it here, right? I gave us assignments, I remember. To look for the functions of the parts. What's the function of sucker of tapeworm? Now, coherent. Okay, so let's label the structure. The structure labeled A is called what? The structure labeled A is called what? Guinea. What are the parts of a tapeworm? Let's start there. How many parts does it have? What's the first part called? Or or scolex. Second part, or strobilus. And what's the last part called? The what? Proglottid. Is it tail? Yes. Okay, it's the tail region. Exam. Now the structure labeled A, he said is the what? Rostellium. The structure labeled B is what? Hooks or hooklets. And the one labeled C is the what? Sucker. Okay. Then I asked us to find the functions. What does rostellium do? Attach. What does hook do? Okay, attach. Rostellium attach. Hook attach. What does sucker do? Attach too. Attachment to a bote poem. And where's your man on him? You didn't do the assignment, so. And you will do it. I'm not telling you the answer. You're a student. Now, please, I needed to explain something about this proglottid before I left. If you notice, what I wrote that day was gravid proglottids. Is that what I wrote? I thought it was that the word gravid means pregnant. Is that correct? We are supposed to talk about the life cycle of tapeworm because it's very important too. It's very, very important. Now, very quickly. The life cycle of tapeworm begins when you ingest food. Remember, there are two popular species we know, Taenia solium and what? Taenia sagnata. Taenia solium is found in which meat again? Solium. Solium. I told us that O goes with O, right? So solium goes with pork. Which animal gives us pork? Pig. Which animal gives beef? Cow. So you might not see in exam, Taenia solium is found in pork. They will tell you Taenia solium is found in dash host. What's the host? Pig. Taenia sagnata is in which host? Cow or cattle. Very important. Okay, so I said the life cycle begins on ingestion of meat. So let's assume that you eat a meat, a pork that has Taenia solium, or you eat a beef that has Taenia sagnata. Once you ingest that meat, remember, you know meat is muscle. Hope you know. That thing you call meat is muscle of animals. So once you ingest it, what happens is that if the tapeworm is gravid, what is gravid again? Pregnant. Once you ingest the meat, the tapeworm, the eggs, these dots I put here actually mean eggs. I forgot to tell us, when you come to worms, are worms also called helminths? Are they also called the helminths? Now, when we talked about the life cycle of protozoans, we made mention of something like cysts. Did we talk about cysts? Now, when you come to protozoans, in their life cycle, at a point, they form what we call cysts. And at another point, they unfold and lay eggs. For worms, we have two classes of worms, right? We have, in biology, there are three classes actually. We have flatworms, that's Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, and Annelida. Is that right? But I told us that Annelida does not have parasites. We did talk about that, except one. What's that one again? Leech. Leeches are the only parasitic organisms in Annelida. Then I told us that all flatworms are parasites, except which one? Planaria. Do you remember that? Planaria is a free-living flatworm. Okay. So similarly, when you come to helminths, in their life cycle, you must see what we call larva. What we call what? Is very important. You can't talk about the life cycle of worms without talking about larva. They have different larva stages, usually named from L1 to L3. From where? L1 to L3. L1 is the first larval stage. Second one, L2 is second larval stage, and L3 is third larval stage. Remember, the growth of an organism, usually insects, what do we call it in biology? The developmental stages of insects in biology, what do we call it? Is it metamorphosis? Yes. Hope you know about metamorphosis. I said of which organism? Did I say worm? What did I say? Insects. How many types of metamorphosis do we have? What and what? Complete and incomplete. How many stages is incomplete? Incomplete, how many? 2, but okay, is it 3? Thank God, name Makwanka. Okay, so when you come to life cycle of tapeworm, as I said, I'll be very fast with it. Once you ingest a meat that contains these worms, what happens is that once the worm enters your GIT, you know what your GIT is, right? What does it mean again? Gastrointestinal tract. Nda no nazo, I know na class. Kon na niru kan na kuzi. Can we go to side down? Mama current na move. Okay, so I said once you ingest the meat containing this tapeworm, on getting to the digestive tract, the worm unsheels the eggs in the proglottids. Now, as it unsheels the eggs, it migrates to the muscles. It joins the blood circulation and then migrates to the muscles. Now, on getting to the muzzle, the tapeworm uses its hook. Uses what? That's what I told us to know the function of the rostellium, the hook, and the sucker. Their names, their function can actually be gotten from their name. Normally, you know what hook does in anything, right? Hook is used for attachment. Rostellium is also used for attachment. Rostellium and hook are used for what? Why sucker? From your common sense, should be used for what? Should be used for what? Feeding, sucking. Okay, so once the tapeworm gets to the muscles, usually skeletal muscle. Which muscle? How many types of muscle do we have in the body? 3. Okay? The first one is called skeletal. The one in the heart is called what? Cardiac. And the one all over the body that is not these 2 is now what? Smooth muscle. So this tapeworm usually go to which muscle? Skeletal muscle. On getting to the skeletal muscle, the tapeworm uses its hook to attach to the muzzle together with the rostellium and then use the sucker to suck for feeding. Now, the aim of this is that it stays in the muzzle to grow. Remember, this tapeworm is still small when it enters the body. So before you know it, it grows and matures. Did you say that tapeworm are hermaphrodites? Did I say it? They undergo, is it monoecious or dioecious? They are monoecious in nature. We said that monoecious means you have both sex organs in one organism, right? So tapeworms are monoecious. They are hermaphrodites. Take note of that. So once they stay in the muzzle and mature, they mature into adults. And their adult form now begins to, that's the normal syngamy, the normal sexual reproduction occurs within it, and then the eggs develop. Now, getting to a stage in the development, the proglottids fall out from the neck. Wait, I'll start this story afresh. It's like it's clicking in my head, self. So we'll not do genetics again. We'll do it later. Let's finish this one. Okay, so we have that the life cycle of tapeworms begins on ingestion of meat containing the proglottids. Once you ingest meat containing the proglottids, this proglottid enters the body, joins the blood circulation, and goes to the muscles, right? On getting to the muscle, these proglottids stay there and mature into adults. The maturation into adults means that this proglottid will later get head. You know what proglottid is now? Those egg parts. So what we actually eat in meat is what? Proglottid, and not the full organism. Do you get? The one that we see meat does not have head. It does not have scholars and all those things we talked about. It just has only down. It's inside the human body that the head will now come out. when it matures into adults. Now, after maturing into adults, this organism will copulate within itself. It is a hermaphrodite, and these eggs will mature and hatch. The eggs, you know what is hatching now? It will break and release the eggs. On releasing the eggs now, this proglottid also fall out. It cuts out and stays in the muzzle, while the head stays differently. Now, if you take that meat again, and the meat contains the mature form of the proglottids, you will get infected again. But if the proglottids are not matured, when you take the meat, you will not be infected. And the life cycle continues. It's not very long. It's just a very short one. So the main aim we need to know here is that where's the site of maturation of tapeworms? Where's the site of maturation? Which type of muzzle? Skeletal muzzle. That's the most important I need you to know here. They mature in skeletal muzzle. They stay there, they lay their eggs, and that's where infection begins from. Is that clear? Okay. So then for schistosoma again, we said that this life cycle of schistosoma begins with what? Is it cercaria? Do we still remember? Where does the life cycle of schistosoma begin from? Cercaria. The cercaria enters the body and joins blood circulation. Where does it go to first? Is it the heart? From the heart to where? Everybody stand up, stand up. Everybody stand up. Sit down. Please, let's try this very fast. what did I say before about it? That's a fly. Let me verify. Yes, correct. Secondary host is SFLI. Please, maybe I made a mistake before. Correct it now. Primary host of trypanosoma is man. Secondary host is SFLI. Is opposite with plasmodium. Plasmodium, the secondary host is man. Trypanosoma, the primary host is man. Please. Okay. Please hope we are writing this. Have I given us list of viral infections and our new students? Do you need the list? Please hope I can clean here. The center. Guinea no. Please, let's be fast, too. What did you say? Okay, number 3. I'm coming. I'm coming. Please remove this number 3. It's a mistake. Senior Niagara, remove it, please. Change the numbering to this. Please, I'm cleaning this center board now, please. I must introduce genetics before I go. So please, let's be fast. Can I clean now? The center. So if they ask you, ringworm is dash kind of disease, viral, bacterial, fungal, or parasitic, what's the answer? So you said is which one? Ringworm is which one? Is fungi, right? Okay. I can clean here. Okay, I've told us about bacteria too now. I've given us list of bacterial infections and their organisms. I might not be able to list that one again. Okay, so please let's write this very quickly. Those at the back, you can see my writing bar. Okay, please look up. Let me say what I wrote so you can know what you're writing. Look up, please, look up. Let me start here. What we have here is dermatophytes, which causes ringworm. Aspergillus causes aspergillosis. Cryptococcus causes cryptococcosis. It causes cryptococcosis. Then for virus, we have poliovirus causes poliomyelitis. The short form we call it is just polio. But the full name is what? polomyelitis. Rabies virus causes rabies. Rhinovirus causes common cold. Measles virus causes measles. Mumps virus causes mumps. Varicella zoster virus. Varicella zoster virus causes chickenpox and shingles. What we call shingles. Chickenpox is actually in children. Why shingles is adults. If someone has chickenpox in adult form, we don't call it chickenpox. We call it what? Shingles. Smallpox virus causes smallpox. Coronavirus causes COVID-19. What's the meaning of COVID-19? Coronavirus disease. 19 is for the year. I thought that 9 is a bad number, bah? So it happened in 2019. That's why the number is here. The medical name of COVID-19, the proper name is severe acute respiratory syndrome. We call it SARS. Lassa fever virus causes Lassa fever. What we call Zika virus causes Zika. We also have Ebola. Ebola virus causes Ebola virus disease, also called EVD. I'm going to Ebola virus in Nigeria. You pants are wearing one. Okay. Then about fungi. This one is popular now. Dr. Iguedo has helped us make this one popular. Candida albicans causes what we call candidiasis. Tinea pedis causes what we call athlete's foot. I'll still come to talk about this later. Then the one we call histoplasma causes histoplasmosis. Okay, so that's about the right. And then the last one, add it somewhere, please. Herpes virus. What do you think herpes virus will cause? Herpes. You know what is herpes? Some of us, I told us when you sometimes you see something will come out in your mouth. You say it's malaria, but yeah, because of herpes virus, it's not malaria. Okay, so let's be fast with that, please. So we write for parasites. Okay. Okay, I missed some things. We're still going back to list some things in parasites. I'll complete it. Let's be very fast, please. Someone said, you said herpes is found in the human body, but in past question is an STD, that's sexually transmitted diseases. Please, does it have different types? Did you get our question? She's saying that I said herpes virus is found in the human body. Please listen now. But in past question, herpes is a sexually transmitted disease. Does herpes have types? That's what she's asking. So let me answer that. I want to clean the board. The center part. Okay, yeah. Please listen now. Let me explain what I want to explain. Please listen and listen attentively. Possibly stop writing. Listen to what I want to say, please. Now we have what we call the human microbiota. We have what we call the human flora. Please listen. Now the word human microbiota, you can divide this word. We have micro and we have biota. What does micro mean again? Small. What does bio mean? Life or living, right? So human microbiota simply means the group of microorganisms in your body. Every human being here have microorganisms, all everybody. from the very first time you were born, as far as you were born through your mother's cervix. Do you know what is cervix? You were born through vaginal births. You were not born through CS, cesarean section. As far as you pass through your mother's womb to come out, as you are passing through that womb, we are contracting about 10,000 organisms. Yes. The first site it touches is your skin. Everybody here sitting here have microorganisms in their skin. After the skin, the next place those organisms enter is your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. So those organisms you contract from birth naturally make up what we call what? The human microbiota. Now, as time goes on, as the child grows, the child begins to eat food, right? Begins to suck breast. Sometimes the mother will finish sweating. They're very happy. Disease. So from feeding, before you know it, the baby begins to contract the one that enters the digestive tract. So everybody here, you have staphylococcus inside you. That's in Dr. Igwe. What staphylococcus guinea Aries is inside everybody seated here, including me. So as time goes on, that microbiota begins to increase. Now, accumulation of all the microorganisms that a human being possesses makes up what we call the human what? Flora. So all the organisms, be it fungi, bacteria, everybody said they have worm in their stomach. Have I said this here before? You have worm. Just that the problem is that your immune system is working on them. At times, you come out and they will tell you, when last did you treat worm? You'll not be asking yourself, where's the worm coming from? It's inside. Now, this leads to another thing we call opportunistic organisms. You know what opportunity is, ba? A chance. Now, all these organisms in your body are there not to cause diseases. Most of them are there to help you survive. For example, when we started this parasite, I told us about organisms that stay in the mouth. Did I tell us? Trichomonas tenax and Entamoeba gingivalis. I told us they stay in your gum. They help you to break down food. And that's what produces those odor in your mouth, right? They are there serving as commensals. They undergo commensalism. But if your immune system becomes low, let's assume you are sick or you have STD, STI, those organisms begins to cause diseases. So because of that, we say that when your immune system becomes down, they find the opportunity to cause disease. That's why they are also called opportunistic organisms. So every organism that make up the human microbiota are what? Opportunistic. Listen, one of those organisms is the herpes virus. Are you listening? Herpes virus has about 5 types. How many types? 5. We call them strains. It has 5 strains. Viruses usually have strains. It has from strain 1 to strain 5. We call it herpes simplex virus 1, 2, 3, down to 5. HSV means herpes simplex. The full name is herpes simplex virus. The herpes 1 is oral herpes, the one you usually see in your mouth. We have the one that affects the respiratory tract. The third one is this. What causes chickenpox is what? Herpes virus. This varicella zoster virus is also called HSV3. That's the third type of herpes. Listen, the fourth type of herpes is called cytomegalovirus. It's not common here. And the last one is called Epstein-Barr virus. These are all different types of the same organism, which is what? Herpes virus. Now, herpes virus being an STD is possible if it is what? Opportunistic. Please hope you are following what I'm saying. So, meaning that this organism, even Candida, where is that Candida? Candida is in your body. Everybody here. Both male and female. But Candida is usually an infection in females due to the pH of their vagina. The female body, the vagina is usually, there's what we call sterile. I've heard about sterile before. There are some body parts that are very sterile. That means you can't find microorganisms there. The body protects it with all its power. One of the body parts is the brain. Your brain is very, very sterile. Your body makes sure that there's what we call blood-brain barrier. Have you ever heard about that before? We call it BBB, blood-brain barrier. It's just like a sieve, very tiny sieve, that does not allow anything to pass through into the brain. Before you can pass through, you must be very, very tiny. So this blood-brain barrier makes sure that things don't get through the brain. If not, people will be getting mad anyhow. So it's like a very tiny sieve that sieves things into the brain. So some body parts are very sterile, but the vagina is not sterile. The pH of the vagina is what? Acidic or alkaline? It's very acidic. There is an organism that stays in the vagina of the females to make sure it is acidic. It's called lactobacillus. What does lacto mean? Milk. What is bacillus? Is it a bacteria? A cylindrical bacteria, right? So this organism stays in the vagina of every human female to make sure that the pH is maintained at 5.2, which is acidic pH. So once there is a change in pH of the female vagina from acidic to alkaline, a lot of things will happen there. A lot of things will happen. And one of the things that happens is that candida becomes opportunistic. That means it can now cause what? Disease. But normally that candida, has the candida been there? Yes. Has it been disturbing the person? No. It's not disturbing because there is a change in what? pH. So that's answered this question. Everybody here have herpes. That time that you usually have malaria, something will come out in your mouth. Your mom will tell you, malaria. After some time, it will go back. What's actually happened is that you became sick, herpes manifested. Then you go and buy drug. Your drug boosts your immune system. So that drugs don't cure diseases, right? What they do is that they boost the immune system. There is a meme I usually see where people will say, it's about defense, like a boy telling a girl telling a boy, thank you for being there for me and saving me during hard times. And then they drew white blood cell. Was like, huh? What am I now doing? Do you understand? White blood cell is what fights in your body. And then you've not thanked your white blood cells. And the girl is telling the boy, thank you for being there for me. So white blood cells actually is what fights diseases. But your drugs boost their function. So once you have malaria, you take anti-malaria drugs. Those anti-malaria drugs is boosting the army to do the work they are doing. So I told us that the diseases, any disease you have in your body that just goes by itself is called self-limiting. It's called what? It will go. Naturally, even without taking drugs, your body has a way of fighting disease itself. Just that you begin to take drugs when the disease begins to overweigh your immune system. Then you start becoming down and many of it. So herpes virus can be STD if it becomes what? Opportunistic. Okay. These questions, you pause for now. Why is it that children's mouths don't smell even without brushing? Children's mouths. Have you gone to put your mouth to check if it smells? I don't know about this one, Sha. Their mouths smell. Does it smell? Unless it, okay, not like your own. Okay, it's your own. Someone is asking, what is trypanosobia? Please, it's not trypanosobia. It's trypanosoma. What did I say? Trypanosoma. Please. There's a medical exam called Viva Voce. Called what? Is a must-do exam. It's a French word. Voce means voice. Viva means talk. So in English, it's called oral exam. It's an exam every medical student must take. In this exam, they can give you what we call veto failure. Veto failure means there's something you can answer. They'll tell you to pack your bag and start going home. You are done with your training in this school. For example, there is a student that came into Viva Hall and they asked the person, what's the size of the heart? Out of tension, you know, some people have stage frights, right? It's not even stage, it's just you and your lecturer. But the lecturer, their glasses now is here. It's in the nose. You know, there are some people, it's like the more you read, the more your glasses. You can't be seen with your eyes, it's to go to your nose. So the man was like, hello, what's your name? Do anything you do in that exam is a question. You can actually knock at the door, come in, they'll ask you, which mouse did you use to knock now? Anything you do in that place is a question. You can come in and you are panicking. They'll ask you which hormones make you panic. They'll tell you to define the physiological mechanism of which you are panicking. You come in and you are looking tired. They'll tell you why are you tired? You'll be like, sir, I've not eaten. No, why are you tired? They'll tell you why is your brain, what's happening in your body now making you tired? So sometimes some students form questions for themselves. Some will now come in and smile. They'll ask which muscle is making you smile. So anything you do in the exam is a question. You can even come in and say, sir, may I sit? They'll tell you which muscle is making you talk. Anything. So usually people usually get scared of the exam. Usually the last phase of every medical exam, the viva. People will come from, professors from different schools will come to your school. They'll start throwing questions at you to make sure you have learned what you have been taught. So the guy came and they asked the guy, what's the size of the heart? Out of tension, he did this. They told him, well, put it in. He said, they told him, well, you can be going. You can be going means you are done. And this exam is usually written from 300 level in medical school. So your 3 years wasted. Nothing can be done about it. They'll tell you are going. There are some answers you will give to. Maybe they will ask you something I just asked about the vagina pH. What's the pH of the vagina? As a medical student, is it alkaline or acidic? And you say, sir, it's alkaline. You are going. From there, you are going. So in Viva, there are people who usually laugh because people that grew in Onitsha, they used to give us English that we don't expect. Someone like this trypanophobia, they'll tell you, what did you say? You say, sir, trypanophobia causes again? My roommate is one of them. He does not know how to, you want to pronounce a drug. Yourself, if that kind of person tell you answer in the hall, you'll be confused. Because you now be asking yourself, is this thing existing? He'll be serious. So, there's a drug called loratadine. Let me sound like paracetamol. He will tell you it's paractamol. So, how? Where is it coming from? Okay, so it's not trypanophobia. It is what? Trypanosoma. Is rabies also found in dog? Yes. Dog is what we call the reservoir host of rabies. I told us what reservoir host is now, right? From the word reservoir, where it is stored, where it stays. So humans contract the disease from dogs. And one of the features is that when someone contracts rabies virus, it affects the respiratory tract. The virus goes to your bronchi, your trachea, begins to constrict it. So people begin to gasp for breath. And in that essence, they begin to do something like you know when you're gasping for breath. So that's where the name came from, that people that have rabies behave like dog. Because when the thing comes, it will choke you. You will now start gasping. Sometimes if they begin to drool. We call drooling means hypersalivation. Saliva begins to come out. So they say anybody that gets rabies behaves like dogs. So it's actually found in dogs. Okay. Heavy growth of staphylococcus every hours. Can this be cured? Heavy growth of staphylococcus. Staphylococcus can be cured, but it is a very stubborn bacteria. Once it's in your body, remember, right? But once it overweighs your immune system, Is a problem. Is schistosoma monoecious or dioecious? Someone should answer this. What is monoecious again? People should find out. So, is the size of the heart the size of a clenched fist? Okay, I said something like this before. We are told that the size of every person's heart is the size of their clenched fist. You know what is clenched fist? Everybody do like this. Raise your hand, tell yourself waka, not me, and then fold it in. Put your thumb inside. This is what we call clenched fists. What we call what? So we are told to believe that the size of everybody's hearts is the size of their own clenched fist. So the size of my heart should be the size of my clenched fist, while your own should be the size of your clenched fist. But so far I've seen, I don't think it's ideal. It's too small. The only organ I can approve that they said is a clenched fist, that is clenched fist, is the spleen. Is the what? The spleen is actually located at the posterior part, the left part. Where is your stomach? Someone touch your stomach. Your stomach is at the left side of your abdomen. So the spleen is the size of clenched fist, but the heart, I don't know about that. Okay, then let me check this one. Your next teacher is here. Okay. Can't the HCl secreted by the stomach kill tapeworm? Someone is asking, I told us that there is acid in the stomach, right? So someone is asking, can't it kill the tapeworm? The answer is no. The answer is what? Those organisms also have their protective, there's a way they protect themselves too against things like this. Okay, so let me just rush through a table quickly. You copy it so we go. Because I would not like to talk about this again. Sir, please, 5 minutes, sir. Okay, so we have, let's go back to that parasite. Please write this thing very quickly, very quickly. We have organism, hosts, and we have disease. So I omitted some. For protozoa, I omitted, please add this one, Leishmania. Is Leishmania there? The host of Leishmania, it has primary host and secondary host. But just let's write man. Then the disease it causes is called Leishmaniasis. Then the next one there we have Giardia lamblia. We have man. It causes giardiasis. Which one again didn't I add? Then trichomonas. It stays in man too. It causes trichomoniasis. Very quickly. And then for worms, nematodes, we have whipworm, we have pinworm, we have hookworm, then we have ascaris. You must have heard about Ascaris lumbricoid before, right? It is a nematode. Then we have Drancunculus medinensis. Hope my writing is big enough. Okay, so I have an assignment for us. Make sure you do it. So we are going to list the diseases caused by these nematodes. We are going to list the diseases, especially from Dracunculus down. Dracunculus medinensis is also called guinea worm. It's popularly known as guinea worm. Okay, so we're going to stop here. Next class, we finish up. Any other questions? No, right? If I drink agbo, will it boost my immune system? Try it first. What is agbo? Kai kai abi herbs. Is it herbs? Some of them boost your immune system. Some. It depends on what you are congesting. Every drug you put in your mouth, every chemical you put in your mouth harms two things in your body. It either harms your liver or your kidney. So anyone you are taking should be very careful. Drugs are poisons. Hope you know. Drugs are poisons. You don't take drugs for everything. Lumbricoid. Okay, so we're going to stop here. Make sure you do the assignment, so please. Okay, yes, AIDS is under virus. Please, you can add it number 12 under virus. What causes AIDS, please? HIV causes AIDS. Is HIV a disease? No. What is HIV? A virus. Please, as na HIV, it is wrong. Okay, AIDS. Please take note of that. Thank you.